What's the number one way to avoid and honestly, yes, prevent having a tax surprise? I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right. Have you ever had a tax surprise? I think most of us have. And it's almost like, one of those moments in life where you remember where you were at. The worst one that I had to deliver was an individual on a Friday. He was starting his, first real job, and something got messed up with his withholdings. And I had to call him on a Friday and tell him, and he was just out of college, so was not making a lot of money, that he owed, I think it was about $6,000. He was getting married the next day. And so no one wants to hear that, especially when you truly don't have any money, especially when you've got so much on your mind and you're spending a lot of money because you're getting married. Oh, it was awful. And it's a moment he'll remember for the rest of his life. I obviously remember it. It was probably 15 years ago or so. And so if you've ever had a tax surprise, it's memorable and not in a good way. It is an awful experience. So did you have a tax surprise this year? I hope not, okay? And so how can you, if you did have a tax surprise, how can you avoid it in the future? And honestly, what steps can you do right now to prevent having a tax surprise ever again or ever in your life? The number one way to fix a tax surprise or avoid a tax surprise is to do proactive tax planning. Guys, I was thinking through this. Okay, I'm helping a client right now through a tax surprise, okay? And we've been going back and forth on it. And I wanted to come up with, okay, well, here's what we're doing for this individual. But it's bigger than that, okay? The way to avoid or fix a tax surprise is ongoing proactive tax planning. Tax planning is one of 6 areas of your overall financial life. Okay, there's 6 areas to your financial life, my financial life, Warren Buffett's financial life, Cristiano Ronaldo's financial life. There's 6 areas, okay? And one is your present financial position. So it's your overall balance sheet and your net worth and an income statement combined, okay? So how much do you have in cash? How much debt? How are you using the income that you're earning to either build assets or lifestyle or pay down debt? So that's present financial position. Protection planning. How much risk are you managing, right? And those 5 big risks that we all manage, how should you manage them? Should you transfer, or should you live with, or should you avoid? The risk of passing away early or needing nursing home coverage or having an accident, something like that, okay? The third area is tax planning. We're going to hit that right now. Fourth area is investment planning. So what do you have? How is it structured? How much risk are you taking? What are the right tools and strategies you should be using? Fifth area is retirement planning, also college planning. So what's your goal? Where are you today? What's the track to get you there? And then on an ongoing basis, as things change, are you still on track? Are you still on track? Are you still on track? And then the sixth area is estate planning. What happens? What are your intentions if something happens to you? Do you have the right structure? Okay, those 6 areas, that's your financial life, and you need a certified financial planner who cares and is certified in each of those areas, but then has a perspective to look at all 6 to help guide you in making financial decisions to bring synergy to those 6 areas so that they're not all working independently and possibly one has this agenda, the other has this agenda, and they've got opposing forces. Okay, does that make sense? So tax planning is one of those. And the purpose of tax planning is 2 things. One, to identify opportunities for you to save taxes, pay the least amount of tax over your lifetime. That could be saving taxes today, or it could be paying taxes today at very low rates because you believe they'll be higher in the future. But identifying opportunities. Now, is tax planning capturing opportunities? No, that's financial planning, right? Identifying opportunities is tax planning. In your situation, because of your financial choices, you should be fully funding your high deductible, your HSA. Okay, well, that's identifying opportunities. Now, whether you should or not, that's looking at, well, what else are you funding? How's your cash flow? Is there debt? Are you on track for retirement? Those sorts of things, right? So identifying opportunity. But then the other purpose for tax planning is to avoid surprises, exactly what I'm trying to help you with right now. So what's that look like? What does tax planning look like to help you avoid surprises? Well, during tax season, it looks like this. You're going to ask yourself 3 questions when you're preparing your taxes. And the first is, do I understand where every number came from? Okay, and you don't need to be a CPA or a tax expert to ask that question. It's really having someone typically guide you through, is this your income? Are we missing anything here? Are these the dividends, capital gains, interest? Are we missing anything? Are these the right deductions? Okay, just basically, is this an accurate tax return or might you be missing something? Tax documents, you might still be preparing your taxes based on what comes in the mail, but some of your documents might have switched to online without you knowing it. You might have, overlooked something, so making sure that you understand where all the numbers come from. That's the first question. The second question is there anything you can do right now to improve your tax situation from last year before you file the return? That's the second question. And then the third, specific to helping you avoid surprises, is there anything that's changing in your tax situation this year that you need to be planning for right now? Okay, this is where you're going to catch a lot of surprises. Oh yeah, I had a child graduate from college, so I'm not going to get those tax benefits. Oh yeah, I changed jobs. Let's make sure that the employer is withholding the right amount. Oh yeah, my spouse started, working part-time instead of full-time. Oh yeah, we stopped, we switched churches. We're no longer funding, the capital campaign over there. Something like that. What changes are coming up or are occurring this year that you need to account for in your tax planning, okay? So that's what tax planning looks like when you're doing your taxes. The other thing it looks like is then in the fall, okay, you're going to sit down and do a tax projection. Now, this can either be very formal within tax software, or it can be more informal, working with your CFP, crunching through some rough numbers. But it's where your CFP is going to take a look at your pay stub, all of it, all of your income sources, take a look at the pay stub and say, this is how much, if you stay on this track, this is how much income you'll have this year. These are the withholdings and the deductions. And then they're going to look at all other income sources. Yep, you turned on Social Security this year, or you had, realized capital gains of this much, or we're going to assume your interest and dividends will be this much, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to make a projected tax return for you. And then using current tax laws, determine how many deductions, all right, what's your tax on that, compare that to your overall withholdings, so that in the fall, you can get a sense for, am I brewing up a tax surprise? Because if so, I'd rather know in November when I've got 6 months to figure that out, or then figuring that out in April when I've got 6 days to plan for it, right? So no one wants to know about a tax surprise, but I'd rather know, if there is one, I'd rather know early as opposed to the last minute, okay? And then the other thing that they're going to use that projection for in the fall is to identify, have we captured all the opportunities, or is there more to do? So that's what tax planning looks like. And guys, that is how you avoid, that's how you prevent, that's how you fix tax surprises. That is the process, okay? Which is why I'm going to end every video with, you need to be doing that work with your certified financial planner, because no one likes tax surprises. No one likes paying more than their fair share to the IRS, right? So go through this process to avoid, fix, and prevent tax surprises in the future. Now, if your investment professional or financial professional doesn't look at taxes, you don't have a financial planner. Even if they say they've got a CFP, they're not doing comprehensive financial planning, and that's what you need to identify the right opportunities to pay the least amount of tax in your life, and maybe multiple generations, and to avoid tax surprises. If you go through that process, doing tax planning, answering those 3 questions when you get your taxes done every single year, and doing that tax projection every fall, will there be a tax surprise? There might, okay? But the chances of it happening would go down drastically, okay? Could there still be something that is totally not on your radar? Yeah, it could happen, okay? Could something else come out of left field? Yeah, that could happen. If you own a small business, something like that, there's more variation there. So you could still see some tax surprises, but going through that process drastically reduces the likelihood of a tax surprise, just significantly. Okay, so I can't say it's impossible that you'll never see another tax surprise again. It's just less probable. All right, so work with your certified financial planner, especially if you had a tax surprise this last year. Do start doing tax planning as part of comprehensive financial planning, which we call One Plan, to make sure that you avoid it moving forward. If you have a CFP on your team that's doing comprehensive financial planning, fantastic. You're already doing this work. You've likely turned off this video. If not, work with your CFP, and if you don't have one, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com, you can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.